All right. So I hope everyone received last session recording. Anyone missed out? If not received, please share your details in the chat box. So today's practical session and yesterday's sessions recording, I'll forward you. All right, let's wait for another few minutes. We'll start the class, okay? So whoever not received last session recording, please share your details so that I can forward you last recording and today's recording with the content and documents. All right, people who have not attended, please share your details in the chat box. I'm going to forward you the last recording and today's recording, okay? So in yesterday's class, we started with basic things. What is a BA process and all. Okay, this picture we have discussed in the last class to understand what is BA process. So today's same picture we're going to do with practically.
తొమ్మిది అయింది.
All right. So in the last session, we discussed about some BI process, basic what we have discussed about some basic BI process and the background, what you have currently and what we are going to do in the data engineer course. Okay. And what prerequisite is required for this course, that's SQL. And we've seen like what is the BI process, how it is useful for business users or owners to take the business decisions. the end-to-end BI process developer is required. That is what in earlier, if you see few years back, there is MSBI like a craze. So more requirements on MSBI rather than your Power BI. Now the visualizations are more. Along with this reporting also, they required ETL knowledge compulsory. Okay, so not only we are targeting to the ETL, entire like we are targeting to the DP203 certification, that is data engineer, data analyst. Okay, so end-to-end process we are going to do not only just for reporting, we entire taking the data sources from scratch to till the report deliver. We are the responsible as a data engineer. We are the responsible to get the data, whatever the format is there, to process it from the different sources. The data may come from the different applications. So you have a responsible to extract those things and manage those data, clean the data, apply some logics, and then finally we are loading this data to the targets. Okay, so this is what we have seen in the last class, end-to-end process to understand internal picture of this one. So why Azure? Microsoft released the cloud platform, the cloud platform where you can, instead of using the infrastructure in your company level. So to design this project, this picture, we require different teams, application team separately, database handling team is separately, and database, if you are handling data center in your company itself, the separate teams are required in separate temperature. You have to maintain those data. ETL installation team separately, testing separately, SQL Server license you have to take, whole app system, that is data warehouse, SQL Server license separately, Keybase you have to take. Everything you have to do, physical installation, physical infrastructure is required, place is required. The backup team is required, DB activities is required, L2 team is required to take everyday backups. In case anyone, if you not take a backup, the data is mismatched or data got corrupted, then it is very difficult to retrieve those data. That is what Microsoft suggested. Even for a small project, it is easy to manage all the services in the cloud. In the cloud, what they are saying is that we're going to provide you virtually everything. We're going to provide everything, the application from Windows to databases. As I told you in the last class, in case you have a 250 GB in your local system and you want to increase to 500 GB, it is not easily suitable. It is not easily scale in and scale down. If you increase the system space also, the infrastructure, whether it supports or not, the system capability have or not. If it is not there, then there may be chance of performance lagging. So you need to change the system architecture again. So this all we can overcome in Azure cloud. So the store they given the name called Azure. In that store, you can purchase any kind of products, any kind of service. So instead of product, instead of softwares, we call here as service. So to work with this process, instead of developing in on-premises, the same kind of picture we will be developing in Azure in a rental purpose. Here you use or you don't use the storage, you store the capacity or don't store the capacity. If you allocated 250 GB, if you allocated 500 GB, you have to pay in on-premises because you purchase that storage. You store or you store, that is your headache. If you ETL are executing or not executing, you have to pay the amount. If your capability to running the queries or not running the queries, you have to pay. But in the rental systems, in the rental purpose, where we're going to deal with end-to-end process. Okay, we're going to deal with end-to-end process. You no need to pay for any single rupee here. Until you go for execution, you no need to pay for any amount. Okay, when you are running these systems in the morning time, only you have to pay for this amount. If you're not running in the night time, you don't need to pay the amount. If you're storing only 250 GB, you have to pay for 250 GB. If you're running the ETL systems, only that time only you have to work. So to work with this process, generally what happen in your company level, let's suppose you're working for company called some IBM and all. Okay, In that company, what happened, if you see there, you'll have a servers there, you have a databases there. Okay, in companies level, what generally we do, and obviously there you'll have, when you want to connect this system in IBM or IBM companies on-premises system, if you want to connect, okay, not only IBM, I'm talking any company, if you want to connect, you are to be added in the domain level. Otherwise, if you are not in the domain level, the servers, the databases, the server storages you cannot connect, or databases you cannot connect. Okay, or any other softwares you cannot connect. How you going to connect this one also? There is a security here. Internally, there will be a VPNs we call virtual private networks. So in your system also, they will install some VPNs, virtual private network. So with this VPN, you're going to connect to their local systems. Okay, without having VPN, you cannot connect to that local system. They'll install here VPN. So this virtual network, what happened? They'll connect to this local network, their private network. With this private network, if you are authorized, you are the domain person, then only these people will connect, help you to connect to the other storages. So there is a kind of security, there is a kind of private network we have. Private, we generally call as private cloud, where you have all the details along with they store with a VPN process. Only within the organizations, within the company, people can able to connect their own company servers or databases. Other company users cannot be connected. The one which we are using the cloud, the one which we are using the cloud is public cloud. These are the public clouds currently we are using. So this public cloud is anyone can able to connect. That means public cloud is means like anyone can visit and can use this cloud. That doesn't mean there is a no security. Yes, we have a security. You also need to add the authorizations. There is a authorization we have. With that authorization, user ID, password, your IP address, public IP address, these all authentication firewall settings you have to add. Without this all settings, the cloud also will not connect. So whatever the services you want, whether you want databases, whether you want data factory, whether you want virtual machine systems, whatever you want, you just required one system to start with this one Azure account. Okay, one system, one Azure account is required to start with the Azure cloud. So there are three types of cloud deployments we have. One is, this is public cloud. As I told you, anyone can go and connect to your Azure databases or your data factory or your virtual machines. Anyone can connect. You just required one account, and once internet is required, you can start your uh, project. The same way, in case some companies, this is generally we call as public cloud, and this is like a private cloud. In case some companies, what happen, they want to go with a some sort of services, like suppose the storages account. So the storages account like DRDO informations, the data I want to maintain in on-premises only. But I want to use the ETL tools from cloud, because the data is very precious for me. I don't want to store the data in the storage account in cloud, because end of the day, the storage is also from this company, the Azure is Microsoft company, is also from US company. So I don't want to store my data in the cloud. My data I'm going to use in the on-premises, but I'm going to use some sort of services from cloud. So this is nothing but a kind of hybrid applications we call. So this is called hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud. So in this hybrid cloud, some sort of services you're using from on-premises, some sort of services you're using the cloud. So maybe tomorrow you get a chance to work on to load the data in on-premises, to load the data in the cloud, or from cloud to on-premises, or on-premises to the cloud. So generally the migrations are like from on-premises to the cloud. Very rarely we do from reverse, from cloud to on-premises. So one piece of information, whatever applications are there, we store in the database, and database to on-premises to cloud. So the same thing as I told you, to start with this process, we required one Azure account. So Azure account are again different types. There are free account, student account, and pay as you go account. So company generally they follow pay as you go account only. So don't worry, I'll show you how to create and all. So this free account, Microsoft giving you 200 USD dollars. Okay, here they are giving you 100 USD dollars. Here you have to pay from your pocket. That is a monthly basis billing. Why we are paying this? Let's example if you are going Flipkart or Amazon, what you do shopping there. You have a categorizations. If you I connect to Amazon, Flipkart, any shopping site, what we do shopping there. To shop this one, we have to pay. So there are different categorizations here. We have clothing, products, and other things. What happened? So if you observe here, there are different categorizations we have here, right? Electronic products separately, clothing is separately, same way it's separately. The same way in the last session I told you, there are different categorizations we have: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So when you log into the portal, how you log into the portal? There is a azure.com. Okay. To connect with this one, we required to connect to this or creation of account, we required azure.com. Or to work or develop with this one, then azureportal.com. Okay, to develop everything we are developing under cloud only. You are not involved any physical installation process. Okay, just for practicing, I'll tell you one or two tools. You no need to, that is also not mandatory. Just for practicing purpose, you can use it. Okay, otherwise everything we do in the cloud. So there is no infrastructure involvement here. So to go to the azure.com, if you observe when you go to the azure.com, it is asking me to go for free, and which is for 30 days, and it is giving you how much rupees. You cannot withdraw that amount, guys. It is giving you almost 200 USD dollars. And there are some mandatory fields are required. What is mandatory? We'll discuss in the next class, that is in tomorrow's class. Now, to work with this one, I required one account. Once I create account, don't worry, I'll show you how to create. I'll give you document and the recordings. So now I'll log into the portal.azure.com. Why I'm logging here? Because I want to design this end-to-end process. I'm a data engineer. I'm a data analyst. I want to need a data, and the data is in different formats. Data is coming different format. I need to analyze the data in the reporting. So I need to design this process. So this is my high level picture. Where is the high level picture? This is a high level picture. Okay. What I want to do, I want a service called data factory. I want a sources. I want a target. Okay. We require source. We require data factory service. We require data warehouse to store the data. We require Power BI to present the data. Now this we have explained to the client. Now see internal picture. First, let's come by one. Can we create source first? Can we have data? Then only I can extract the data. So first what I'll do, I'll log into the portal, portal.azure.com. What we want. Don't worry, all these details I'll give you in detail level. Today I'm just showing you how it is really works, how easily to handle it. Not only one source, there are number of sources are there that I'm just showing you practically today. Okay. In regular class, we'll go with a step by step from scratch. I know there are many people are from non-technical background. I'll go with a basic step by step. If you people know, well and good. If you don't know, still I'll go with a basic. Okay. Now let's see here. So what is your requirement? Let's understand first requirement. Any ETL developer or data engineer developer or data analyst, first understand what is your requirement, what they are asking, what they want. Because if I start showing you directly project, this is my one of my on premises project. Like recently November, we have released this one. Very simple. It is just like a matter of 2 or 3 hours. It is almost took around 3 weeks to develop this process. Very simple process. I'll share you this document, this project work document. Very simple project work document. We can develop, if you know this course, we can develop this project within 2 or 3 hours. But if you see in the real time only, they almost, I'll show you the mails also for this one, how it's going on. Okay, they just want to load the data from on premises to the cloud. I told you here, this is a one of the method, because we want to load the application is here sitting somewhere, it is sitting the application is loading in the database. What they want to extract the data from here and to load here in cloud. So the same process they have mentioned here, but some step by step they mentioned. You have to develop some step by step. So for this project, this is not a big project, just this is just one of the requirement. Okay, one of the requirement you need to complete within 2 or 3 hours. It took almost 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, it has to release go live in 23rd November. It was given around October, I guess. Okay, I'll show you the mail also, mail chain also. So now let's see here. Let me keep this side. Okay, let's see here. What I'll do, let's first get it developed, this one basic requirement. Then I'll show you the detail in-depth requirements. Okay. So already we have a portal. I have a portal. I can see my subscription is pay as you go subscription. So don't worry, what is your subscription, sir? I don't know what is subscription, what, how to create and all, everything I'll show you. So right now it is already created. Let's use this one. What you want? See the picture. I want source. Sources means what? The data, storage, Google Drive. What you do in Google Drive? Store your data, images, photos, pictures. Here also we store the data in where? In storage account. This is like your Google Drive, the cloud drive. So in this drive, I'm going to store my data, images, photos, pictures, and I can share with someone also. Okay. So how to create? Very simple. Let's create. This is my project. Vinay Tech Resource Group is a project. Click OK. What is your storage account? Let's suppose my storage account is test storage account. I told you there is a physical involvement, physical data center. On behalf of you, somebody is working the physical storage. So you are just selecting here where to store. I told you there is a data center. You are selecting here virtually. You are selecting virtual machine. You are selecting the databases. You are selecting the database ETL tools. You are selecting virtually. But on behalf of you, there is a data center. In there, the physically stored. There is nothing like a cloud. Nobody will store in the cloud. Cloud is also there is a backend. There is a physical data center. Don't think that there is in the cloud in the air we store. No, we store our data in one physical data center. In tomorrow you have a audit, you can visit to this location. There are a number of locations are there. Which location you want to select, and you are not going to select by your own choice. There will be a proper documents where your application is hosted, where your application is hosted. Accordingly, nearby location we select the data center or database or storage account. Okay, this was clearly will be mentioned by your team lead or manager. There will be a technical document. There will be given in the KT session. If it is not given, you have to ask these questions if you are going as real time. For freshers, not required. They'll give you KTs in training and all. For experienced people, all these things you have to get all the proper requirements. Okay. So physical data center, I want to deploy my storage account in this location. Okay. There are some performance static drive, premium drive, SSD drive. What is all these things? Leave it right now. I'll show you later. Okay. For right now, the backup. Are you create any backup for your drive? No, right? So here there is an option in Azure. Any single small service also you create, there will be a backup. Backup also you can decide whether you want in locally. Local is nothing but the data center wherever it is. There will be a local area. There store the backups. That means if you are selecting Hyderabad, the location in Hyderabad location you are selected in that local region in one of the place they store your backup for high redundancy, for disaster recovery, for through high through output for performance. In case of anything is happen, immediately it will jump to that backup. Okay, you select or you don't select, you any service you have a backup. Okay, okay, just leave it for now. Don't worry, in detail we'll discuss in the regular class. Okay, for now I'm just by default I'm checking as locally. Review and just create. That's it. You are creating a space, you are creating a storage account in the cloud. Now then start dumping your data, whatever you want, structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured, photos, images, documents, whatever you want, dump it. So it always give you notification, success, fail, process, not process, everything you have to monitor through notification. You just need to fill like a form, everything, everything you need to monitor through notifications only, because you are not doing any physical involvement backend. What is happening backend, that is not our headache. Okay, let it get deployed. What is getting deployed? Storage account is getting ready. This requirement is done. We'll upload the files also. Okay, once it is created, we'll upload it. Next, what we want? Data factory. Why data factory? To load the data in databases is a ETL process. So I want data file. Okay, it is created. See here, the resource is created. Resource is created. I'll go to this resource. That is a storage account. My storage account is test storage account. This is my storage account. Inside storage account, there are number of services are there. Okay. So there are number of services that we have. So guys, whoever joined new, please share your details, phone number, your email address in the chat box so that I can forward today's recording and last session recording. Please ping me in the chat box your details. Okay. If people are missed first recording, please share me your details in the chat box. All right. You have any questions, doubts are there? Please listed out your doubts, questions. I'll give you some times once the class is complete. You can ask anything. Okay. Let's understand this interesting thing. So we'll do this requirement completely and then I'll answer your all your questions, doubts, whatever you have. Okay. Right. So files I want to save. What sort of file? Structure file, semi-structure file, what you want. See, blob service is there. One of the storage. File share is there. Queues, tables, whatever you want. You want file shares, we can select the file share. You want blob storage, select the blob storage. So you create a folder one. Folder is nothing but container, data logs container. Here I want to save my files. That simple it is. The container is created. Can I upload a file here? Let's upload some file. Click on upload button and upload the file. Which file you want to upload? I want to upload some data logs file I want to upload. Can I upload here? Let's upload and see whether it is correct data or not. View the data. Right click and view the data. Review the data. And what is this data is about? Understand the data. What are the data is coming? Employee ID, some name, customer name, salary, address, location, country wise data we have. All right, no issues. So this data is ready here in the storage account. We created it. Now this data, can I analyze this data? See, one thing here is to ask you people why we are loading the data in the database. The purpose why we are loading the data here, this file we are loading the data in the database. Why I am doing loading the process? Anyone know why we are loading the data? Sir, you want to analyze the data, you are the data analyst, you want to analyze the data. Okay, analyze in the file itself. Why you are loading the data? What is the purpose of loading the data? Anyone know here? Why I am loading the data? Let me open that file. This is the data. The question here is, sir, why you are loading the data into the database? What is the purpose? What do you want? What is your requirement? What you want to achieve with this data? Okay, my manager told me that I want to show the data, country wise data. I want to show how much salary is there, how much counts are there. So that simple requirement, why you are loading the data? What is the purpose? What is the use of loading the data in the database? Anyone know, guys, why we are loading the data in database? Why can't you analyze here itself? Can we analyze here itself in the file?
No, there is a blanks in between the data. We have to.
Integration process
Okay, blanks are there. Integration,
to
what?
carry out the ETL operations.
Okay. But end of the day, what they want to see the country-wise data. If you want country-wise data, sir, I'm non-technical background. I'm good at in Excel because in BPO I did MIS process. I'm good at Excel. Let me know what you want. I'll give you the proper data. You want pivot? I'll give you country-wise data. There is a sum of salary you want. I'll give you sum of salary. You want aggregate data, counts of the employee ID. I'll provide you counts of employee ID. And you want sum of salary. I'll give you sum of salaries. This is my data. This summarized data. This is only the data you want, right? Yeah, let's take this data. Sum of salaries, sum of counts. So if you want to cross check, go and cross check. There are 8 records on UK information. I'll go and check here. In UK, there are 8 records are there or not. I'll filter out. I'll put it UK. 8 records are there. Yes, sir. 8 records are there. Sum of, if I calculate sum of how much is there? Almost 1700 something is there. Okay. The same thing is there. 1,76,000 or whatever it is. This data I can achieve it easily by Excel. So what is the purpose of loading the data in the table? That is a question. This is what interview people will ask you. Why you are wasting your time to get the data from file and take the ETL tool and load the data? You're wasting your money here. What is the purpose of loading here? And then you are analyzing. You want to analyze, sir, reporting, we do reporting, sir. There are good visualizations are there. I want to do the reporting here. I'll do the same reporting. If you want here, I'll do the same. There's a graph, different graphs are there. Put a graph. Do you see anywhere graph? Yes, we have a graph. Where is that data?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pavan. Yeah, we can do
Column chart. I'll put a column chart. Yeah, tell me. You people are reporting background. I can do in the Excel also. They're reporting whatever you see.
Yeah, we can do reporting wise or analysis wise in Excel. Okay, but suppose if we want to share those data to the client, for those purposes we will use. I hope.
I'll share this report. I'll remove everything. I'll share this graph to the client.
But
I'll schedule it.
But Excel can, I mean, we can, what we can say, hold the data that to a particular limit. Apart from that, we cannot perform any data in that, I mean, Excel. For example,
Large amount of data sets, for that purpose, we are loading the data into the
The
data.
fact remains that we load the data in the data warehousing because we get files, we get different data from different servers and different formats altogether.
Okay.
We have to upload it, and then we have to transform the data. And then
sometimes we usually get the files in data in CSV files also. So in that case, we are again we need to load the data into the
and it has to be
databases, and
stored
then
as
we
well.
calculate.
Has to be stored as well in OLAP system. That's what we call in MSPA.
Okay.
And then the transformation can be done, and then the reporting can be done.
All right. So some of the points are almost correct. Like some are like a huge volume of data. The Excel will not support some file records, and some of the different formats of data. In case all the files are in the Excel sheet, okay. Till some people are said like, sir, I cannot support max to max 10 lakhs rows. It will support not huge volume of data. That is also correct. Some people are saying these files are comes from the different formats. Some UK data is coming from file, India region coming from database, and other file is coming from data lake. That all you need to combine, and we need to store in single results in database. Okay, that point also correct. So that is what, in case of one file is there, today only one file is there, even though it is a lakhs of record, every day we get a millions of records. Every day the files will come. I'll show you my real time process. Every day we get millions of records. every day with a date wise. Today transactions, your store is completed, your store 10 after 10 p.m. it is closed. The supermarket, whatever you, every day you get millions of records. And the millions of records also in different formats, different storages. Database come, some people use database, some people use cloud storage, some. So what we are doing here, we are combining those data and into one single results in data warehouse. And that also we are just doing not only for one time, every day we have to do the process. One time process means I can do it. I can give the data like this, I can analyze, and it is easy to write a queries. Whatever the data you are seeing here, aggregate data, I can easily manage in SQL database. Easily I can store the data in database and I can get this easy output. Instead of doing this one every day into the number of files, if there are 100 files are there, I cannot go 100 files, I cannot dump it in the Excel. So I have to load 100 files in the database. Then on top of that, I'll write my own queries, analysis queries. So that is what we required, the centralized database, whether you use SQL, whether you use Azure database, whether you use on-premise database, whether you use Oracle, whatever you use, there is a centralized data we need to maintain. From there, you can write your own queries, SQL queries, you can get your own outputs and show the data in the reports. And one more thing here is, why only ETL? Again question, why only ETL? If you want the file to load here, do it directly. I can go directly here, I can right click and import it. Why only this one? Because the answer for this one is, every day we cannot do import and export. Graphically we can do import and export. One file, two file we can do every day. Early morning you cannot wake up, you cannot do for millions of records or files. So for that we need to do some automation process. One-time development, extraction, load, transform, clean the data, manage everything under the data warehouse or database. So that is the reason we are creating the database now. So file is ready. The service I'm going to create now. Let's see here how interesting it will be. So file is ready. Let's go and create the other services. I can parallelly also work in portal. Okay. I'll create one more portal here. Already the file is ready. I'll create now data factory. See here. Where is the data factory? Data factory here. Okay. Let's create the ETL tool to do some automation. So this automation is not only for one file, two file, it help you to combine from different sources. Okay. This is my Azure test, sorry, ADF, right? ADF test 1-to-1, whatever the name you want to give. Don't worry, all these settings I'll give you in detail. Now, right now I'm creating quickly to show you. And parallelly, what we'll do, this data factory is created. Let's go with the database. Okay, let's see here. One more tab. Parallelly, I'm doing everything here. I'm a responsible for storage account. I'm a responsible for data factory. I'm responsible for database. What in data engineer people are doing? Data engineer, everything they are managing it. Now I'm going to create my database. Very simple. To create database in on-premises, I don't know if people are SQL Server install or not in your on-premises. To install SQL Server Developer Edition, to install SQL Evaluation Edition, you have to go installation process. Setup file is required, some method is required, and C drive is required. So here very simple. Click on create and just tell me your database name. That's it. Server name, database name in one page. So what is your project? Your project is already a Vinay Tech Resource Group project. My database name is customer database. Customer database. Where you want to create this customer database? Under one server, Vinay Tech SQL Server. Physically, where you are installing again, data center is East US location. To connect to the server, we required user ID and password. So I am providing user ID as my same server name and password, because you are going to connect from outside, right? So for that, we require user ID and password. So to maintain this database, you are going to install in C drive generally in your normal system, but here you're installing in East US location. But how much space you want, how much GB storage you want to save? 2 GB, 4 GB, 5 GB? How much GB data you want here too? So depend upon your data size, volume on every day. Let's suppose in on-premises you declare as 250 GB. I told you 250 GB if you declared, and tomorrow you got huge transactions. Tomorrow you got huge transaction. You cannot increase or decrease this. You cannot increase and decrease easily in on-premises, but here it is a scalable. In on-premises, it is a scalable. How it is scalable? You can see here what you want, development, production, or what type of storages you want. Is anyone know, like when you purchase a laptop, on what basis your laptop will be charged more? On what scalable it will charge more? It will charge based on your processor, RAM, or it will charge based on your disk. If anyone purchases a laptop or any system, how it will be charged?
Processor.
Processor RAM, right? Because it is a performance, it give you performance. Storage is not a big deal. Storage, if you select 250 GB, they'll give you 1,000 rupees. If you select 1 TB also, they'll give you 1,000 rupees. If you increase the processor RAM, definitely the pricing will be scale in and scale down. Here also, your storage will be decided not basis on your storage. Okay, there is a storage. If I select 2 GB, you can see there is a 400. If I select 1 GB also, 400, nothing is changed. Okay, if you want high storage, if you want 50 GB, 40 GB, do you see any changes here? No changes. If I increase some more, do you see any changes? It is not changes. Why? Because storage is okay, not a matter. The performance is very important because it's going to give you dedicated resources, RAM, memory, processors, input, output units. The moment you increase the performance, because we are not involved any infrastructure here, you cannot decide how much RAM you want, how much processor is there backend. Everything you have to decide based on the transactions unit, data warehouse unit, on hourly basis units. So the moment you increase the performance, if you see my pricing will be multiplied. So this is something called a scalable. Today you increase or decrease, tomorrow you want, I selected right now 1 GB here. I selected here as now 1 GB. I selected here as only for 1 GB right now. So tomorrow I apply here, I'll see the transactions, how the data comes, transactions every day. Accordingly, I'll manage here. If data used every day is coming 2 GB, 3 GB or more, then I'll increase it. Automatically, I'll increase it here. You don't require separate IT team, infrastructure team or separate. You can easily do it. How? Let me show you. Let's do it. See, the amount is charging 400. That is not costing immediately. It is just giving you estimated per month, and you also have to pay from not your from pocket. Microsoft giving you 200 USD dollar, around 13 to 15,000 credit in INR. You no need to pay from your pocket. In real time, we use pay as you go subscription account. Right now I'm showing with pay as you go, which institute is going to bear this amount. Okay, so we have to practice with free account. Click create, very simple, one page, and it is not going to charge 400. No, it will not charge. It is giving you estimated. Okay, it is giving you estimated. So right, so file is uploaded, data factory is created, right? Yeah, it is created. Let's take it out. Yes, Ahmed, any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. Let's suppose you bought the server from Microsoft and for a pay-as-you-go manner. But then you forgot after a month, you forgot that you have to pay to upgrade your subscription. You forgot. So the data got deleted, or what happened?
Account will be deactivated simply. It will give you a timeline. It will still give you time. It doesn't, because if you see my billing, still I did not pay, but account still I'm able to create. There will be some timeline. The backup will be there. So they'll keep you alerts. They'll keep you mails. In case rarely, if you have very precious data, they'll keep you calls for Microsoft support end, and then the account will be disabled for particular time. They have a soft deletions. Soft deletions means they will
But
give you some particular time. Within that, if you don't update them, then it will be deleted. Okay.
And
Everything is
one
going
more
to take care.
yeah, I got it. And one more scenario. Let's suppose that you shut down your business, but then you want to save your data. Maybe you might restart your business after 5 years. So in that case, you would not uh, go for pay as you go. You want to save those data in your own server. So in that scenario, is there any possibility?
Take the backups in locally, take the backups, take the data outside, save it in your local, or in case you want just to in some other drives, you can save over there. In case you are shutdowning that machines, whatever precious data is there, take it out and save in your local drives.
And is it expensive? The pay as you go is expensive with
No,
the
it is
on
not expensive.
server?
I'll show you my subscriptions. I take morning 3 classes from morning 6 to 9, 10. I'll take a classes. I'll show you the subscriptions. Very rarely amount because the moment I class complete, I drop the services. But in real time, we don't drop the services. Okay. I'll
Like,
show you.
is it expensive than on premises, or is it comparatively?
It is not expensive than on premises. On premises, I told you, you have to purchase. Whether you use or don't use, you have to pay to the Microsoft the license keys. But here you are not paying for any license keys. You are just using the service. How much storage you're storing, only you have to pay for that. If you are running, then only you have to pay. But in on premises, you run or you don't run, you have to pay. Whether system
And
is on or not, you have to pay. But here, when system is running, dedicated resources are given, then only you have to pay. Like a rental purpose, like how we have in rent
got
house, same way.
got it. And also,
Just
on
give me
like
some time. I'll answer your all questions. Just
sure.
give me some time. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So where we are, this account created, data factory created just now, database getting created. Okay. Let's go to the data factory now. So only 3 tabs you need to work. Very, very important. The 3 tabs. One is development, the pipelines development. What you develop, that you can schedule it here. What you are developing, the connection is required. Now I'll tell you why people are moving to the Azure Data Factory, because of the number of sources, structured data. You can see this many sources you won't find in on-premises tools. Okay, wherever whatever data you have here. So this many difference, this many sources is default connectivities are there. Whether whatever the still it is getting added more connections. These are the connectivities where you can get the data from any of the sources, with the on-premises, cloud, other storages. You can get this data and can process. The same thing if you go for Databricks. Databricks is also one of the tool to process your data. There you have to write in Python, Scala, language. Okay, in all the different languages you have to write. But each connection also you have to write a coding. But here is codeless. Every connections are ready. Whatever you want, you have to get it easily. And many connections are getting added. You just require credential of that connection. You can get it easily established, this connection, internal inbuilt drives. Okay, but in Python, in Databricks and other languages, you have to write for connections also. Everything, every connectors, authors, you need to code it. Very simple it is. Okay, I'll show you how it is very simple. Same thing if you go on premises. I don't know you people are somebody is from here SSIS or don't know ETL tool. This SSI is also ETL tool, one of the MSBI concept. So if you want unstructured data for SSIS, there are third party tools are like Zappy Sys for SSIS. Zappy extension is there, Zappy SSIS, sorry, Zappy Sys for SSIS extension. So there is a power pack for SSIS. The SSI is a Microsoft product, but you cannot do unstructured, semi-structured data. Only structured data it is. If you observe, this SSIS is one of the product from MSBI, which is almost old tools from 20 to 25 years. It was using it for only structured data. And you can think about Data Factory, which is a new tool which process all the platform structured data, semi and unstructured easily. And you can see how big market it is for Data Factory ETL developers. So in earlier, if you see, you want to process the data, what we are doing. So we were using third-party extensions. These are the third-party extensions. To process your JSON data also, you have to use third-party extensions. This is not your Microsoft products. This is not your Microsoft tools. Yes, tool is Microsoft, but these are not extension, Microsoft extension. So Microsoft, what they did, instead of they're going SSIS Power Packs, they are implemented the concept called Data Factory. So with all the extensions you have. Okay, now let's come back. What is the requirement? Where it store? Blob storage. So let's go the internal part now. Internal part is your pipeline. So if you see the pipeline internal part, the internal part is this one. What you have? Pipeline you created. Can I create pipeline once? Let's go to the data factory. Very simple. This is my data factory. Okay, let's cancel it first. Let's come back step by step. New. This is a pipeline. Don't worry, everything I'll show you in detail level. This is my data is loading from blob to Azure SQL data loading. Okay, this is my one of the pipeline. What you want to do? You want to copy the data from here to here. Copy the data. What is the copying the data? From blob to SQL. To copy the data, these are the internal parts. What table you have to use, what connections you have. This is all you have to create. Only this component you need to understand. Okay. Copy data. What copy data is required? Copying the data from blob to Azure SQL tables to analyze my data. Source is ready. What is the source? Source is in the blob storage. Okay, what sort of format you want? JSON, Parquet, binary, delimiter. Select that format. Click on continue. This is my source blob dataset. Connection, very, very important. Link service. This is a connection. Okay, two methods we can do by using key violet. What is key violet? I'll tell you. Or by using connection string. Don't worry, I'll tell you. This is my account name. Test. My account name is this one, test storage account. Under that, there is a container. There is a folder. Okay. The moment I click OK, there is a folder. There's a container. You don't know container, just select here data logs container. Inside there is a file. Yes, this file I want to extract. First row is a header. Yes, first row is a header. Just keep it aside and see the data is there. Check if the data is there. Yes, this is the data. I need to load the data into the target. Let's see into the target. What is the target? What is the target? Target is server, SQL server. Is it created? Yeah, it is created. So you want to create table. If you know how to create table, well and good. If you don't know how to create table, no issues. So this firewall security you have to give. What is that firewall? I'll tell you. Very simple thing. Now see here, this is my server name. This is my server name. Okay, in case you want to open in SSMS, I think SSMS people don't know. To tell you, SSMS is a platform to write SQL queries. So this platform to write a SQL query. Sir, you told me you don't need to install anything. No issues. You want here in cloud only you want to write a query, write it here. Here you want to write a query. Yes, please write it here. I don't want to connect SSMS. Write it here. You want to create table? Very simple, because I want to store the data in table. What table? Customer data. What is the table name? Customer data, customer ID, customer name, customer amount or revenue or the country details. That's it. Click OK. Table is ready. You want to see the table? Select star from this table. No records. Do you see here? You want to see in the local on premises? Yes, I just created one table here. Here also you can query it. People are familiar with SSMS, then you can use here. If you don't know SSMS, no issues. You can do here also. No records. Can we load now? This data I'm loading to this database so that I can easily analyze. This data I'm loading here. These are all details. Let's see how to load the data through data factory now. Source I configured, data is there ready. Okay, I'm going to configure now. Target is your database, SQL database. There are different type of SQLs are there. What is there? We'll discuss in detail level in next class. Okay, right now I want to use in customer data table. This is my data set. Okay, connection you have to create. This is my connection. That is your linked service. What is your server name? Everything is ready. Server name, database name. You just need to configure it. That's it. Username is Vinay Tech. What is that? Vinay Tech SQL Server username. And password here is this one. No, sir, I don't want to provide password. I want to use key wallet. You can use key wallet. What is that? I'll tell you. Okay. Let's see. We have created one table. Do you see a table? Yes, I have a table. No, sir, I don't know how to create. No issues. Click on here, edit your table name, employee table name. Click on employee. That's it. It will work. Or if you have, just select here customer table. That's it. Click OK. And do the mappings. Very, very important is mapping. Why mapping? Some columns are different from source to target. Here is ID. Here is employee ID. Employee ID is loading the data in customer name. This is wrong. So what we have to do? We have to map it properly. Employee ID to customer ID, name to customer name, amount to salary, and address to locations. Address to location. That's it. Can we start the data now? Please validate first. If you see it is no error, then start loading. Very simple. Now you no need to write your query. You no need to analyze in the Excel. Whatever you want to do with the query, basic SQL. The same result set. Whatever you see the result set here, I'll show you the result set with a basic query. The same result set I'll show in the query. Okay, it is executing. Very simple. While executing only you have to pay the amount. Otherwise you no need to pay. It is executed. You want to see in picture from blob to Azure SQL. Only one file is read because I have uploaded one file. If you have 100 files, you upload 100 files. How many records are read? How many records are write in the database? How much duration it took? How much KB is there? How much data integration unit is charged? If you remember, for database, I used data transactions unit. For this one, data integration units. Okay, don't worry, I'll tell you that. Can we see the data here? Execute. Yes, data is there. Can we see in the cloud also? Same data. Can you write the same query? What you want? I want data like country wise. Country wise, sum of the C amount as my revenue and count of employee ID or CID as counts of transactions. Group by country. Same result which you have did in the Excel. Can I see same result here? Or anything is missed out? This is my total. This is my total. Now let's analyze. Sir, I don't want this to be shared with the client. It does not look good. I want to see some graphs. I cannot do in the this one because again I have to share. If I implement graph like this, I have to share the file to the client. Then I'm going to help. I'm going to use the help of. I'm going to use the help of reporting team. Okay. I'm going to use the help of reporting team. What's the reporting team? Till here you deliver the data. Can we attach now Power BI? Yes, definitely. If you have a Power BI, you can attach your Power BI desktop. Let's implement one report, graphical report. The difference between Excel report and graphical report. So Power BI is the platform to represent till what is our work? We are a chef. We cook the food, prepare the food, clean the food. Everything is ready our side. What other manager will do? They serve the food. The serving the food is nothing but through Power BI or reporting. That's it. Our work is to manage the data. Our work is to clean the data. Our work is to engage all the data possible, make it into the clean, make it into the single data set, store the data, and that whatever the design and dial part will be do by your other manager. Okay, he will serve the food to the customers. Now we are serving the food to the customer through Power BI by using the some graphical way. They'll add some top of some design and all, they'll share it. Okay, let's see how to design that Power BI report also. I'll show you. Very simple. So we are not focusing much on Power BI because it is very simple process in Power BI. You can generate report, even you can learn by own Power BI. That's not a big problem. We are only discussing about data engineer part. We are only discussing about data related part, managing, performing, transformations, loading. This is all we are doing under the data engineering part. Okay, let's see here. So where is the data? Data is in the database. Can I see here? What is my connection? It is Azure. In the Azure, there is the Azure SQL. Here is the data in the server. Can I copy? Yes, please. So this is my Power BI desktop. Here I want to present the data, or you want to share, you can share it. Very simple. So can I get the data? It is still loading. Okay, actually my processor here, system processor very slow. Let's close this one. Now what you want? I want to get the data. From where you want to get? See, Power BI is not a ETL tool, guys. Power BI is only the reporting tool. Power BI not load the data. Power BI just present the data. Don't get confused. Power BI just a reporting tool, not a ETL tool. You are saying, sir, we are loading the data. Yes, you load the data within the Power BI. You are not going to load anywhere. Azure services we want. What is the Azure SQL database? Click on connect. See, this is the graphical ways. We can represent them. We can share directly. What is your server name? I just copied. Click on continue. If they ask you user ID and password, provide it. If it does not ask you, generally it will ask you because every day I'm using this one. That is why it may take some same credentials. If it is not asked, okay, no problem. If ask you, please provide it. Okay, it is connected to my server. There is a database, customer database. Inside there is only one table called customer table. Inside customer table, I just loaded the data. You're seeing that here is loaded. That doesn't mean it is a ETL tool. Loading is nothing but within the Power BI to represent the data, something is required. That is the data is required. Okay. Now see here, very important. You want to see the same data in graphical way, this way, or you want to see by pie chart, graph chart, whatever chart you want, apply it. Very simple. Once you have data with full results, then only this work will be done. That is what I told you in the last session. These people will only work when they have data. Otherwise, there is no work for them. Now interviews also, they are asking to have a knowledge on ETL. ETL involvement are very more. Data engineer involvement are very more. All the places. So you are not responsible to do everything. You are going to work on some of the module. Either you work on in this module, either you work on this module, or either you work on this module or this module. You are not responsible to do. But in small companies, which I'm currently working, there you have to do end-to-end process. End-to-end process. Till you deliver the report, you are the responsible. Okay, what you want? You want pie chart? Select the pie chart. Whatever the chart you want, select here and select what data you want. You want to show the country wise, the revenues, show it. No, I want to show the line chart. Show the line chart. It's up to you. Or you want to add completely dashboards. Add it. I want one more report. Line chart. Add it. I want to show country wise their users. country-wise their users. Show them. If you see right now, you're showing this how much. Almost Canada is like 58%, 1030500, the revenue count. If by mistakenly, if somebody started here, by mistakenly, your friend is started again, what happens? What it will show in the report now? How much count it is now? 1030 multiplied with 2. The data will get duplicated. How many counts here? 8 counts. How many counts will be there? 16 counts. The revenue will get duplicated. So to not to get duplicate, there are some templates, there are some loading process we have. The moment user will refresh here, the moment he refresh, the counts he see doubled. The counts he see 8 plus 8, 16. Revenue 206,100. Revenue got doubled. So to not to get revenue doubled, we are going to deal with some of the ETL loading process. Some of the ETL loading process. What is the loading process? It may be your full load template. It may be a regular load. It may be a delta load. It may be a incremental load. Again, in incremental by using lookup, by using SCD, by using CDC, by using merge, these other methods. If you don't know this loading process template, then there is a no interview. Please don't go for interview. If you don't know, if you're going for ETL data engineer, if you don't know this loading process, then don't attend any interviews. These are the default templates. Without this template, we don't load any data. Okay, so these all templates, we are going to deal with end-to-end process. Okay, each template, each use case, detail level we'd see. Scenario based. Okay, most I'm focusing on practical. Material is already there in my class. Only we focus practically. Okay, there is no definition you will find in my class. Definition, everything you can generate by your own. If somebody asks you what is a blob storage, if you read the definition, you will be there in the definition. So interview will come for only for 30 to 45 minutes, interview panel. So you have to waste interviewer time. If you explain, if somebody asks you how to move the data, you have to detail, you have to explain it. The question which you know, if you waste the time, interviewer time, he may not go for the next question. He'll wait for until you complete. If you just definition part, if you say, he will immediately he will ask you one more next question. So whatever you know, waste the interviewer time there. Elaborate that, even though one line answer also, elaborate that in detail level, so that you can wait, you can hold for the next question. So 30 to 45 minutes he will come for interview. Now the interviews are very basic interviews for data engineering and data factory specifically. Very basic, how to create link service, what is a integration runtime, triggers type, this basic level of questions they're asking now. Because it is a new tool, people are also don't know what to ask because they did not work in that real time world. Only people who are working from last experience, they only know. So basic level of interviews are happening for currently. If you go next 2 to 3 years, you will find scenario based questions. The scenario based question, that is what they are asking you, some questions from SQL language, not only our data factory. They're asking if even for Power BI people also, or in any other reporting tool also, they're asking few questions from SQL. So data factory level, data engineer level, Azure BI level, very basic questions they are asking currently. If you want that questions, I'll forward you. The interviews I have shown you in the last session, I'll give you all these details. Okay, so completely real-time scenario based I'll show you because I'm currently working as real-time person. Based on that, I'll give you my project only. Okay, keep it whatever the project in your resume, keep it, no problem. Whatever I explain, do the explanation, same thing to interview. Okay, all right, so I'm just stopping here. Any questions, any doubts here, guys? You can quickly ask me.